And Dady, man. I'm so excited. Miami Hurricanes 4-0. Just destruction last night of USF. Welcome to Comics on Kane. My name is Michael Yo. Did a radio show in Miami for 12 years, 13 years, maybe even 15 on Y100. Love Miami. Been about the Canes since 2020, since 2001. So I saw the one championship, and then it's been 20 years, 23 years of misery. But man, this is special. This is special. Forrest, what's going on, my dude?
Good. Yeah, I was texting you during the game, the first half.
Hold on, Forrest.
Yeah.
Forrest has PTSD. Let me tell you something about Forrest.
Yeah.
This dude is like, oh my God. You know what? I need to put, this is how you know this dude has PTSD. Let me tell you what Forrest is texting me during the game. What was the score at this time? Did they just go up?
I think they were about to go up 15-14, South Florida. I think they were about to go up because I said they're outgained every offensive every offensive statistic we were losing in time of possession, passing, rushing, maybe not rushing, but passing, rushing, and about to be the score. So I was just not happy with the D, know.
So Forrest is very not happy with the defense, and I'm like, this is the same text messages we had during Florida at the beginning of the game. The thing about Miami, USF worked so hard to move the ball down the field. I just knew then, I didn't care if they went up. They did not have the horses to stay in that game. I kept preaching that to Forrest. I go, don't worry. It's going to be all good. It's going to be all good.
Couple of things. Number one, I was worried because their quarterback, I think, averages somewhere around 150.
I don't care about averages.
Already at 120. So I was like, I don't like that. And then also, you missed the pre-2001, by the way. So let me tell you, you missed the 1992 to 2001. 2000 was good, but I just rewatched because I was in Key West at the comic club down there, and then Netflix. I just rewatched the U and the U2. I just rewatched it this week.
Yeah,
to get even more hyped up. And I was like, oh, those were some terrible years in the middle. So there's double PTSD for me where I'm like, okay.
Well, no, but you can't. No, but you had championships in between that. I've had one and then none.
Yeah.
So my thing is I wasn't worried about their quarterback. I wasn't, because the only discussion I took up with Forrest that I thought made sense was Guidry's plan. And this is how stupid some Miami fans are. They're like, well, they're not getting a pass rush. Of course they weren't, because Guidry, the first quarter, almost till halftime, decided just to fill the lanes because of the running quarterback. And I said to Forrest, I go, hey, you know what? Miami needs the blitz.
Yeah.
Because you can't just hang back and give it, he's not a great quarterback.
As soon as you said that, honestly, you literally typed it.
I did.
It was a sack. Yeah.
I said he's gonna have to start blitzing because you can't give this guy time just to run back there, because that puts a lot of stress on the defense.
Yeah.
And I think they played it right. And remember, as soon as I sent that text, towards the end of the first half, they started blitzing, and that's when USF got all out of rhythm, because all they were doing was holding up the line of scrimmage, so keeping their run lanes so the quarterback couldn't run. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, that's good to start the game, because you don't want any bust at the beginning of the game, first quarter. You don't want to keep them in it as long as possible. But even when they went up, I was like, Forrest, they worked so hard to get that touchdown, and they had to do a trick play.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way they can stay in this game. Absolutely no. They don't have the horses. And that's what happened for us. That's what happened.
I knew that. I said that too. I said, I know they're going to win. I just want them to win pretty. I want them to win. And a couple of things happened after that. Number one, they didn't score again at all. And that is again, not been happening in the past decade plus, because we didn't make adjustments. We went the other way. We'd start off okay and then not make the adjustments. And now we are making the adjustments, not even at halftime. He made them before the half, bled into the second half, and just shut them down. They had a couple drives that kind of stalled, I think, at the very end there. But shut them down. Cam Ward threw that early pick that led to the score, and then was like...
Well, let's be honest. He did not throw a pick. That should have been a fumble, because Jacoby George caught that ball and then fumbled it, and then they got it. He caught it and then kind of tossed it up. I don't know. I don't know what happened on that.
I just mean mentality wise, you have the Gators game where he definitely threw a pick, and then this one with the turnover. And what you love to see is just like, that's okay. I'm still going to throw for over 400 yards and three touchdowns. And then
we'll be discussing this more on our big podcast on Wednesday. We come out with a podcast every Wednesday. Subscribe and all that good stuff. You know what to do. We appreciate all you guys watching. But one thing Miami fans need to stop doing right now, and I'm talking to all of us, because I see it on the X, I see it all over comments, and please leave a comment in our comments right now. We are live. I can talk about it. I give you shout outs, whatever you want right now live. What we need to stop doing is, I see people saying, oh, we're in the portal looking for another Cam Ward. There is no other Cam Ward. Don't even put that in your brain that there's another Cam Ward. Cam Ward, one of one. That dude is special, man. He is so special. Because you got to remember, me and Forrest have been saying this at the beginning. That is literally a pro quarterback playing college football. He's not, you can go to every school and say you want to, there is no other Cam Ward. You will probably, to me, and I know Miami has a great tradition in quarterbacks, and a couple quarterbacks brought a couple of national championships, but to me, there's been no better quarterback for Miami than Cam Ward. Ron Matthews just said, my Mizzou Tigers just slipped by Van. Yeah, Mizzou, I think they got ranked 11th or 12th now. They've had 2 tough weeks. They're not as good as their rankings. Sorry, Ron Matthews.
Yeah,
sorry,
but Vandy's not bad. They beat Virginia Tech, and Boston College almost beat Missouri on the road to Missouri. I think Missouri is a little bit overrated, but they're still they're there with they're winning. So, but going back to Cam Ward, so it's interesting because then people might be like, well, why did he come back to college? Well, I'll tell you what's going on right now in the NFL as we currently are doing this podcast is, I believe Caleb Williams finally threw a touchdown today, and that's the first touchdown by all of this great rookie quarterback class with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. None of them have thrown a touchdown until today, third week in the season. And if he would have went in with his draft class that was really hyped up and stuff, I don't think he would have been picked where he's going to be picked next year.
No, he was going to. I mean, he was
top 2, 3. Yeah.
No, he was projected to be in 3rd, 4th, 5th round. And by to me right now, where Cam just plays the game so slow. I don't know if you saw that one they called back, but he was basically falling and he threw it back to Lyle. It didn't count. This dude, the game is so slow to him. And you know what's really funny is when he was on the goal line, threw that touchdown to X, the way he claps, makes the defense jump, and then he'll just move a running back where he knows the pressure is going to come. It's just so easy for him because a lot of quarterback nervous feet, they look like they're out of. This dude is chilling, man. This is like a Sunday walk in the park to him. It's crazy.
And all the while in the background, what's happening right now, those money counters in the bank? That's what's going on for his NFL stock. It's just like, it's just the money.
But it's not even, Forrest, it's not even fair because there are great college quarterbacks, and then there's Cam Ward that's a professional quarterback playing college.
Yeah, and what's great, and going into the season, like again, PTSD, you never know what's going to happen, but then you've got your like Xavier Restrepo, who's he's been playing. He might as well be a pro as well. The whole team is filled with like this combination of really young, hungry kids and people that have been there and been waiting for this moment. And it's great to see too. Yeah, the game is so slow for him. I was trying to come up with a nickname for him, and I came up with, it's not going to stick, I think, but CBD Ward. That's what I was
CBD Ward. Slow-mo Cam. That's it. Slow-mo Cam. Slow-mo Cam. Because that's his nickname. Slow-mo Cam. Because everything is just slow-mo. He's like, slow-mo Cam. That's my nickname for Cam Ward. Slow-mo Cam.
Now,
anyway,
real quick.
Go ahead.
AJ Allen ain't playing this year. I'm sorry, dude. I think he might have to. Like we're talking about, he might have to look and see after 4 games and see because.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up.
Jordan Lau was getting more carries. It was getting more run than him anyways. And then he just ripped off that 90. It's not hurting his stock, after he.
Oh, no. Lyle is a beast. Like I said, no disrespect to any other running backs, but you were on stage performing when A.J. Allen got a 2-yard gain for a first down that meant a lot at that moment.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this. Only he could have got that first down because it dealt with quick cuts, burst in strength, and he got that. And Miami needed that first down. Look,
I'm saying, for him. I want to keep him because you never know what's going to happen with injuries, things like that. You want the depth. But I'm saying for him as a person, just personally for him, he might be, he might be looking at it right now and saying, man, I'm behind everybody here. And Martinez didn't really, he got 3 touchdowns yesterday on what?
But let me tell you.
So, yeah.
Let me tell you. Rasta, when we love Rasta, he kind of talked me off the ledge about going hard about A.J. Allen because he goes, these running backs right now are on a pitch count. And that's exactly, they didn't even play Fletcher because I think what they're trying to do is just save up. They know they're going deep into the playoffs. So A.J. Allen will have his moment. But if you're A.J. Allen, and on Wednesday, what you're going to do for us is you're going to grab all the comments from our last podcast because a couple Miami fans came after me, and I want to address that.
Okay.
And I want to get into it now, but they're saying me, Michael Yo, a huge Kane fan, could be ruining chemistry for the team because I'm talking about A.J. Allen. I don't want to talk about that right now. No, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about that. Okay. But we will talk about how A.J. Allen has played 4 games, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. Because if he plays one more game, it's done. He's on the team. You lose, you can't transfer. You're on the team. But if you're also A.J. Allen, you got a couple carries, you got a big run, you got a big little toss you got for 16 yards. Got popped the hell out of on the sideline, but you did your thing. You got up and I like it.
He's got 17 carries for 143 yards, 8.5 a carry almost.
8.5 a carry, man.
So it's not like he's not contributing, obviously.
And let's be honest, even if he does play this whole year, this team is special. Yeah. This is the first time. Wednesday too. Mark this down. Put it in your mental note. I want to do a way too early how we think the season is going to go. Because in my head, I already know. Because this is the first time in 23 years, I really feel, after watching Kentucky and Georgia play, Georgia winning 13, I feel this is the first time in 23 years we could play against a Georgia. We could play against a Alabama. We could play against DC. Really play.
Texas looks really good, too. Yeah.
I mean, because Mario built up those trenches, man. He built up the trenches. And that's the thing.
And like I said, I just watched the docs again. And I mean, I already, it's not like I forgot this, but just watching that game against Ohio State, it's painful to still watch. It's so painful to watch that whole thing happen still. But, when McGahee goes down, we had Noble, we had, Jarrett Payton.
Yeah.
Bless his soul. He wasn't the guy, And
but who was the next one? Who was the third stringer though? Gore, right?
Technically, Gore could have played that. And this is something that
they should have put Gore in that game, man. I don't know why they didn't put Gore in.
Here's something I don't think will ever get leaked out, but Gore was coming back from the knee surgery. He was Maurice Claret in the practices.
Yes.
He was running the plays for them. And I believe that Coker could have just put him in the game. And then, but they're saying, it would have been a year of eligibility loss. I'm like, he ain't staying till he's a senior. Have you seen him run? So I believe that he was that's what I believe still, is that he didn't want to waste his year of eligibility by putting him in. And I'm like, but it's the national championship and you have a Ferrari sitting there.
We will be able to find out because we're going to have DJ Williams on the show. He'll be able to tell us.
I would love to know.
Real deal.
This has been eating me. And then I watched the docket. I would love to know because I'm not hating on Coker, but at the same time, I'm like, if that is the case, I would just be like, come on, dude. Like Jarrett Payton tried his best. He's obviously not Frank Gore. Put Frank Gore in if you could.
Now, big shout out to everybody watching right now. Please hit that subscribe button. Also, leave a comment. We'll answer your question. If you have a good question you want us to answer right now, we are live. Leave it in the comment. All right, I do want to point out a couple of things about the running back room. Look, they're all great. They all could start somewhere. A.J. Allen has a big decision he wants to make. I think, though, now I have turned the page after talking to Rasta. I think everybody's on a pitch count. I think, and this is what was encouraging for me and AJ Allen. He was a third running back in. It was Fletcher, it was Damian Fletcher, and then AJ Allen came in. So
and the same thing can be said for the wide receivers. Like last week was Jacoby George's game. This week, 1 catch for 10 yards. Now Isaiah Horton steps up. 8 catches, 108
let
yards.
me tell you. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Isaiah Horton.
Yeah.
Is that dude. I was watching this game like, oh my, where'd this dude? Who did I hit up? I hit up somebody. I go, who is this guy? Like, where'd he come from? That's development right there. Yeah. That's Kevin Beard right there. That's like, I was so happy for Horton, and he was just loving that moment. And like you said, man, they're spreading it around. Like X got 99 yards. Horton, I believe he got 106 in the game.
108, yeah. Well, 108 when a touchdown, yeah. And Sam Brown too. I was literally thinking at the beginning of the game, I was like, oh, he's kind of getting lost in the offense, and it was like right before the half. You're like, oh, 76 yards, touchdown, nice. Okay.
Here's the thing that you realize this year. Last year, if they had a good quarterback, and no disrespect to Tyler Van Dyke, TVD, but he had some mental problems in the pocket. If they had a decent quarterback, they would have won 10 games. Because this team is nowhere near this year's team, but they could have beat the teams in the ACC. This team, like I said, last year's team couldn't play with Georgia. Couldn't play with Alabama. This year's team, oh, you best believe they won't just play with them. They could beat them.
Yeah.
They could beat them. And like I said, on Wednesday, we're going to have a big podcast. We're going to do our way too early predictions about the end of the season. But I'm telling you, man, I feel good about this. And I know a lot of y'all just checking out this podcast for the first time. I'm an optimist, but I'm a realist too. And I've been honest.
I don't think
I've been brutally honest. Yeah. And even fans calling me out saying I'm ruining team chemistry. Look, I see it. I call it like I see it. And I've seen Georgia. I've seen all these teams play. The difference with Miami this year is they're not struggling against the teams they should beat up on. And they're not just beating them. They beating up on them. And Forrest always mentions, well, last year, or man, they struggle. These are kids. Last podcast, Forrest, like, these are kids. It's different, man. The mentality of this team is crazy.
By the way, you know how many yards we're averaging passing now?
How many, man?
We are at 405 net passing yards a game. And what about rushing? What do you think we're at there?
So Forrest, what was it? Bold prediction was we're going to rush.
We're going to go from 170 something yards last year a game to 200 yards a game. I got shamed. You made me go to 222 for some reason.
Yes.
So guess where we're at right now?
Where are we at?
200, exactly 200.
200.
Is what I said.
A bold prediction, going up 30 yards is not a bold prediction. Going up 50 yards, 52 yards, that's a bold prediction.
200 is a lot of yards.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Jordan Lyle, we wouldn't be at 200 yards.
Let me tell you this. I actually think USF, big props to them.
Yeah.
It's hard to duplicate that pace they were running at. They were running so fast. They got so many penalties because they couldn't keep up with their own pace.
Yeah.
And please, for all the Miami fans watching, what was up with these announcers sounding like idiots saying, oh, this weather, people crap. It's like, do you not know the Miami Hurricanes play and practice in Miami? That was the dumbest thing. They kept repeating. This weather could hurt the Miami Hurricane. It's like, yo, they practice in Miami. You think they live in LA? And they just call themselves the Canes? You think they're living in La Jolla, San Diego? And these are the Miami Hurricanes. They practice in this. And by the end of the game, you saw more USF players like getting cramps than Miami players. Big shout outs. I believe the strength coach is Field for Miami.
I will say this though.
What's the strength coach in Miami? Field?
I
think his name is Field. Right? If anybody watching, hit me up in the. I think it's Field.
For some reason, my brain did not work out. Aaron Feld.
Aaron Feld. Yeah. Big shout outs to him, man. He got that team. I mean, he got them looking strong.
So you have no negatives from yesterday? No.
Oh yeah, I have negatives. Yeah, I have negatives.
A lot of penalties.
A lot of penalties, man. A lot of penalties
for 113 yards. That's a lot.
I saw one negative. One negative was more about the fan reactions than the actual play. Jacoby George dropped that ball. A lot of people are like, kind of like tossing the towel on Jacoby George, saying Horton is what Jacoby George should have been today. You know, Jacoby George, of course, last year was a hothead, got a lot of penalties. This year, that one pass, but no. Jacoby George is good. That whole receiver room is good. That whole running back room is good. And this is the Miami fans that I don't like that jump on. Like, I saw Miami fans attacking Cristobal saying, he's getting out coached. He's getting out coached. It's like, yo, stop with the PTSD. Last year's team is not this year's team. Last year's quarterback is not this year's quarterback. Last year's defensive line is not this year's defensive. Hold up, chill, wait. And Forrest was the same way. He didn't say we were getting out, but he was like, "Oh my God!" No, Forrest, stop it.
I didn't say we were going to lose. I just said I wanted it to look better, and then it did.
It was a quarter and a half when you said that, Forrest. Let them play the game.
It was almost halftime. It was right before Sam Brown ripped off the 76.
Okay.
But no, I just, and also, I did have some premonitions when, like, if we lose to South Florida of all teams, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I didn't think we were going to lose, but it's just, look, man, I just watched those docs. I had the ghost of Al Golden haunting me and stuff like that. And I was like, that was it.
Y'all need to let it go. Let go to PTSD. Now, some more negatives. I mean, look, the penalties is the biggest negative to me. It's hard to have negatives when you win by 35 in I don't want to even say a hostile environment, in another person's stadium. I mean, could they have caught that ball Jacoby George dropped? Yes. Could let's talk about the run blocking could be a lot better.
Yeah, our run game was, except for, like I said, if Lau doesn't rip that off, the run game wasn't great. But I also think, though, that they're just, look, like, Cam Ward's so good. Like, we know he's going to get, at this point, like, if he doesn't go for 300, that's a disappointment. And I just think that, not that they're like, we're going to throw and not run. I think they want the balance. But I also think they're like, look, we got this even without the run.
But I hear all the critics say about the run blocking is bad. They're not talking about how they're stacking the box. This is what's weird to me. People are playing man-to-man against Cam being quarterback, and they're stacking the box to stop the run. I know they got to stop one or the other.
Yeah.
And that's the best position to be in. The run block is not good because they got 8 men in the box. I don't care if you have – I don't care about your offensive line. If you're outnumbered, you'll pop one off here and there, but you're outnumbered. So Cam now is working one-on-one. Even Cam was like, yo, we were surprised they played so much man-to-man. You know, so I don't have a problem. Like, I will judge the run blocking when a team plays more zone than man-to-man and load the box. Like, right now, it's 8 in the box. I mean, you're going to lose that battle most of the time, unless it's just a team is just garbage. And USF, they were decent. Like, you put it like this. And if anybody disagrees with me, please leave it at USF would beat Florida and Florida State handily. Do you agree with that?
I mean, yeah, right now, definitely. I mean,
100%.
They barely won yesterday. They finally got their win, and Florida had a good win yesterday, I think. But they definitely played us tougher. They were better coached too. Like
100%.
Like even though there was a trick play, and it's not like they were, and then the onside kick, and so they were trying stuff. Like they were trying to be creative. You know
what it was for us?
Yeah,
they were hungry.
Yeah.
You can feel it's a program that's hungry, that wants to eat, that wants to get better. Where Florida State, it's just a bunch of transfers that don't care because they're losing and they want out. They're like, man, I wish we would have went to a different school. Yeah, Florida is like, they won a game. Like Florida State, they rushed the field, I believe, beating Cal. It was kind of a joke. It was kind of a joke, but it's still that's where their programs are right now. And Florida, I think USF would beat Florida State by 20 and probably Florida by 20. I really feel that team is good, man. I read a stat, and big shout outs to the Tampa Bay newspaper. I'm going to read this because I even screenshotted it. This is the Tampa Bay newspaper, and I'm sure all you Cane fans that are hardcore like me, you already saw this, but it's worth repeating. It said Miami dominated in every way. The Bulls entered with a top 10 rushing offense, and the Hurricanes held them to 1.9 yards per carry, less than half of what Alabama did. And USF coach Alex, well, I don't know how to say his last name, 4+ seasons as head coach / offensive coordinator, only one defense has held this team to a lower rushing average. Georgia's 2021 national championship team. So, I mean, like I said, this is the first time I feel we got horses, we got dogs, we got depth, and I'm feeling. Look, I champion AJ Allen every time I can, but I got to say this, man. Rasta, big shout outs to Rasta, talked me off the edge. Was like, hey, it's a long season. These backs are on pitch counts. And it came to effect. You had Damian last week, 3 carries. Mark Fletcher. How many carries did Fletcher have this game? Can you look that up?
Fletcher had, just had it here. I was looking to see if Fletcher had 3 carries for 3 yards. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And the reason why they gave Damian Martinez those touchdowns, he deserved them, because a lot of times Fletcher got those touchdowns when Damian would run it all the way to the 2-3 yard line. So he was owed like 3 touchdowns, So when you got depth, I believe this. Now I believe this. I think one game AJ Allen will get his touchdowns. I think one game Lyle will get his touchdowns, because Lyle this week was AJ Allen last week. Had the one big run. So I believe what they're going to do is, if they keep dominating, it'll be like, all right, AJ, get your touchdowns this week. All right, Lyle, it's you. All right, Chris Johnson, it's you. They're going to spread it around like that. So I feel a lot better about the running back room. Feel a lot better. I've always loved the receiver room. And Cam is that dude. But also, big shout outs to that offensive line, man, keeping them just clean,
By the way, the defense second, I know that in the first half there was, I wouldn't say struggling, but it was, I want to give them the shout out too, because once they scored 15, just shut it down.
Yeah.
They finished with 7 tackles for losses, 4 sacks. I think Malgo he had 11 total tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, 3 solo tackles. Jaden Harris, 2 tackles for loss. They just came to play after that and shut it down. And that's the adjustments. That's the talent. That's like the pride. It's like all there, where in the years past, we're like, well, whatever. Our Cam Ward will take care of it. We'll win 50-45. Nah, just we're going to do our part too. So I was very happy.
You know what?
Yeah.
2 things about the defensive backs. I called it at the beginning, before the season even started. I said defensive backfield was going to be better. And what I say, Forrest, because you didn't lose 2 safeties. You lost a safety and a linebacker. I've been preaching that ever since we started. You didn't lose 2 safeties. You lost a safety and a linebacker. So, of course, it's going to be a better defensive backfield, because you don't have a 240-pound safety playing back there. And no disrespect, because he's doing his thing. Hopefully he's still on the Titans. I don't really watch it.
Change the podcast to no disrespect.
It should be. We should do a segment where it's just me saying no disrespect to different things. We should. That'd be a good segment. But
got a second interception, by the way. Speaking of that,
James Williams. How many times did we see bust where people are running away with touchdowns and nobody's even in the screen? We saw that all last year. I get it. Cam Kitchen's doing his thing. James Williams is doing their thing. First year under Guidry, it's tough to learn a new defense. But these defense, you got all real defensive backs back there. Yeah. And they may get a 15-yard, 23-yard. I don't understand. You know what upset me? Let me talk about this. This is what upset me yesterday. I forgot the dude's name. The little white dude, but little Alston. Is that his name from USF? He's kind of like our Restrepo. Number 23. Atkins.
Oh, no, 23?
Oh, no, Atkins. You're right. It's Atkins. 28, whatever his name is.
He had 11 catches for $125. Yeah.
This dude, the whole game, in the first half, would motion across the field and just run straight into the flat. Every time. Catch a little thing and run 10, 15 yards. And I'm screaming at the TV, yo, they running the same play. Anybody else watching TV screaming at yo, how can I see this and y'all on the field not seeing this? I don't know, man. Oh, we got some people coming in.
By the way,
Hold on 1 second. Read some comments. Obi Kane, the onside kick attempt. That's when you knew they didn't have a chance. Bob Leach, what's up? Just arrived. Thank you so much. Omar, Michael Yo, great to see you. It's Omar, producer from Deco. Oh, what's up, Omar from Deco Drive? Atkins, yeah, you're right. So that's what made me so upset. I was like, this dude keeps running the same play. What were you gonna say for us?
I'm just gonna, as a side note, because I remember I was like, I didn't know they had a kicker that had a leg like this. Remember, I texted to you right away. I'm like, oh, he's a Grammatica. I'm like, how many Grammatica is this? This got to be a son of one of the Grammaticas, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
that dude got a leg.
He hit the 58 to 51, and then exited the game, I guess, with an injury. So,
Let me tell you something. If I'm Miami, I'm like, yo, we poaching. We getting a new. I think they got the best high school place kicker or field goal kicker. They recruited him.
Yeah.
But this Grammatica dude, man, I would be going after him.
Their legacy, though. The Grammatica.
Legacy, bro.
Yeah. But Borgalis, too, though. I mean, semi-legacy.
Borgalis is a beast.
He didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do much yesterday.
But this is his last year, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I said he's going to get the Grozo Award at the beginning, and I'm like, the Grammatica, but I think Grammatica, I don't know what ended up happening to him.
Grammatica only kicks the long field goals, and another kicker kicks the short ones.
Oh, is that what's? I don't even.
That's what they do.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Volume does. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, why is this other guy coming in?
So let me show you. Let me show you where I saw growth in Cristobal, Mario Cristobal, and this is how you know he has people around him telling him things. USF was they were running down the field, tiring out our players close to the end of the first half. He had 3 timeouts. He finally called one with 4 minutes left, 4 minutes something left in that first half. And basically that team was on a fast break. They were running up in court. It's like in basketball. When a team scores 10 in a row, you like call that timeout. You know Mario didn't want to call that timeout.
Yeah, no.
Because he likes to play it out. You know, he's like Phil Jackson when he had the Bulls. Let it play out. We'll see what happens. I'm sure someone was in his ears like, yo, they're on a run. Let's slow this thing down. We don't want to go into halftime 22-22. Let's call a timeout. And after they called that timeout, everything stopped for USF, which was great coaching. I actually thought they should have took it 4 or 5 plays into that series, because I think they called it around play 9. And right now I can't remember exactly because this is an instant reaction podcast the day after. So I haven't rewatched the game, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments too. I was screaming after they started moving the ball, that 4th or 5th play, like, yo, you sitting on 3 timeouts. And I know you're like, if you're going to get the ball back, you want to score again. No, let's stop them. Go in 22-15. And he called that timeout. And to me, whether it's Cristobal calling it or it's people around him calling it, that was a great call. Because that game could have been different going into halftime tied. It still would have blew him out, but it's a different game. The announcers are talking different at halftime. Oh, Miami could be in trouble. No. Great call by Cristobal and whoever's around him talking in his ear. Let me read this. Portis for president. Jacoby George needs some focus factor pills. All right.
Well, they're not a sponsor of our podcast. So
they're not a sponsor of our podcast. But if anybody wants to be a sponsor for our podcast, please hit that subscribe button. And also we have an audio pod, right? Forrest, you were telling me?
Yeah. Anywhere you listen there, well, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, you can find us on there. Comics on Canes.
Okay. You
just want to listen when you're in the car. You want to re-listen,
All right. For all the people watching right now, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. We love it. And then the second half, we haven't even got to the second half was just destruction.
Yeah.
That's because Gidry loves a clean third quarter. His thing is let's not let the other team score. In the third quarter, they didn't score. And then the game was over. Cam Ward was doing his thing. All the receivers are clicking. The running backs are clicking. And then it's 35-15. And then after that, I went back to Disneyland with my family. I was like, this is over. Because the point is, I even tweeted this at the time. I go, when they were up by 2 touchdowns, I go, if they score this third touchdown, it's over because it was just they were outmanned. They were outmanned. And now the announcers are saying, okay, Alabama beat them about the same score, but Miami did it in a better way. So now they're trying to compare Alabama to Miami. And what did I say? Our first podcast. I said, after they beat Florida, people will be saying, putting them in the same conversation as Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia, and now they have arrived. And actually, for the first time, from my heart, I feel they can play with those teams. Not just play with them, they can beat them because of the trenches.
By the way, Alabama beat them 42-16, close score. 28 of those points were in the fourth quarter. So it was a 14-13 game going into the fourth quarter with Alabama. So it's a different game, but Alabama did end up pulling away from them, but it was 14-13 going into the fourth quarter. So
if you're just tuning in, I made a new nickname for Cam, Slow-Mo Cam, because everything is in slow-mo form. Slow-mo, run with that. Hashtag that, Slow-Mo Cam. But here's the thing that's great about him. His pocket presence, his awareness where the rush is coming from. I feel like he's probably one of the great, this is going to sound crazy, one of the greatest college quarterbacks ever. Just his sense, just how smart put it like this. If Ohio State or Georgia had Kim Ward, they would be untouchable. Now we have them, we're untouchable. I really feel that. He puts Miami in the ball game. And the reason why I said Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia is Mario stacked 2 great years of recruiting. These teams have stacked 15 years of you know what I mean? They stack every year. So just imagine Cam on those teams. Here
you go. This just in.
Yeah.
17 hours ago from AZ Sports. Cameron Ward and Miami Hurricanes on pace for most efficient offense in college football history. Most efficient. Yeah. Yeah.
What does that mean, though? Most efficient. What does that really mean?
Well, they're averaging 8.8 yards per offensive play thus far, showing no signs of slowing down. The current record for most yards per play is the 2018 Oklahoma Sooners at 8.6 per play. So it's just an average yards per play type thing. So per play, we're averaging 8.8 yards, which is insane. Like that.
You are witnessing.
Yeah.
To me, and I say this, I've been watching college football for 40 years, ever since I was a kid. You're watching the greatest college quarterback because he's really not a college quarterback. He's a pro quarterback, but this dude could have went pro, and I think he would have found the field this year seeing all these other rookie quarterbacks. Yeah. But you're definitely witnessing the best ever Miami Hurricanes quarterback. No discussion. You can mention there's no discussion. There's no discussion about this.
He's awesome. He's awesome.
I know you like Vinny.
No. I'm not even comparing that. I'm saying he's awesome. He's great. He's going to be awesome all year. Look, we're entering into the meat of the schedule now. So in 3-4 weeks from now, let's.
Okay.
I still think he's going to be great. I still think maybe we'll be the most efficient offense in the country, but we got to get through this, and we're better than all these teams. We're better than Virginia Tech next week. We're better. But, I want to see where we're at in 3 or 4 weeks once we play all these, ACC teams.
Let me tell you something, Forrest. I'm seeing Anthony Castillo. Louisville will be a tough ACC game this year. O.B. Kane. Cam is averaging 11 yards. That's 33 yards per first down attempt. Is that right? Oh, why would you want to run the ball? That's true. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. I saw a comment. I can't take credit for this, but I saw it on X. I don't know who said it, but it hit me hard when they said this. They go, you remember last year, you would hold your breath every time TVD would drop back for a pass? You'd be like, oh, man, what's going to happen?
The last 15 years.
15 years. And I saw another comment. I think this was Mondo. I'm not sure, but it said, after watching Cam play for Miami, what the hell have we been doing for 15 years? Why haven't we been getting quarterbacks? Yeah. He just makes it look so easy. But I see the Louisville comment coming in a lot. Let me tell you something. That will be a blowout too. That's the PTSD. That's the PTSD I'm talking about right there. Louisville's going to be a tough game. No, it's not.
What game is not going to be a blowout for you?
No, it's not. I told you what game. If Miami loses one game, I already told you what game that's going to be.
I know that. But what do you think they're going to blow out Virginia Tech next week?
They're gonna blow up. They're gonna blow out everybody. I mean, like, okay, let me put what a blowout to me is. Okay.
Yeah.
20. Let's say 18 points or more. Louisville will get beat by more than 18 points by Miami Hurricanes.
I would say 3 touchdowns is a blowout. So.
Well, 18, 3. Come on, Forrest.
You made me go to 222. I'm making you go to 20.
Okay. All right. Louisville will not be a tough game. Yeah. That is PTSD speaking. That is last year mentality. This year mentality is no, we're going to work hard. We're going to run through everybody. I don't think that's going to be a game. I told you at the beginning of the year, Forrest, what game they could lose. And that is Syracuse, last game of the year, only because I don't believe Mario will do this. I said, but he might want to rest up players for the championship game and the playoffs. The only reason Miami and start Emory, start Poff, that's the only reason I could see them losing a game. And I said this before the season even started. I said Syracuse is the one I have circled because of them resting players. You might have it's the end of the year, players are nicked up. It's like, yo, we don't really need to win this game. I mean, we want to win it, but I would rather rest an offensive line and get them ready for a championship game against Clemson or whoever they're going to play.
Probably Clemson, but yeah, and plus the the nightlife is so good in Syracuse too.
Yeah, I know. Hold on 1 second. Blaze 352 says Mario's not going to do that. I agree. He's not going to do that. But I'm saying the only game they could lose is that one. If he did do that, which Blaze 352 said he's not, and I agree, he's not.
I hope he doesn't. I wanna, I don't want him to rest anybody. I want him to just come in, guns blazing, especially Syracuse too. I know
to lose at Syracuse. I mean, that would be horrible.
They broke my flag, man. They broke my Hurricanes flag back in the 90s when I was parked there near the Carrier Dome. So screw them. Yeah,
they did. But like I said, Blaze 352. I don't think Mario will do it either. That's the only game I saw them losing before the season even started because of resting players. Next week,
Cam Ward is so relaxed. He's making Mario look relaxed. He doesn't know about your slow-mo Cam yet.
Slow-mo Cam, hashtag it. That's what I call. I made up. If you hear that anywhere else, I made that up this podcast. I call him slow-mo Cam because everything's slow motion. Slow-mo Cam.
Make the hats, make the shirts.
I need to make the hats, make the shirt. You're gonna see Dime Life, my boy DJ Williams selling those slow-mo Cam.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I could see us losing in the semifinal. That's it. I think.
Sure.
No, okay. Blaze, you're getting me excited. 352. Let me tell you something, Blaze. Wednesday, listen to that podcast because we're gonna give a way too early prediction of how the season's gonna end.
Yeah.
And I have it mapped out in my head. I know who they're gonna play in the semifinals. I don't know, but this is how I see it playing out.
I did that. Well, it's next podcast when we coming out.
Next podcast, we're gonna break down.
I went to the bracket and I figured out everything.
So next podcast is Wednesday. You can listen to this one if you missed it. Check it out on all our iTunes, wherever you stream podcasts. YouTube, but the main thing is our YouTube page. Thank you so much. As I'm talking right now, I think we have 700 and something subscribers in just a month and a half, which is huge. So thank you.
Amazing.
And we're funding this ourselves. We have no big company. This goes back to, I remember when Joe Rogan, I was like, should I be part of a podcast company? It would grow faster. He goes, do it yourself because the dividends are going to be a lot higher when you eventually make it. And me, Forrest, and Rudy are putting everything we got into this podcast, and we really appreciate you. And the only advertisement thing I'm going to say is this Friday coming up, Friday and Saturday in Tempe, Arizona, I will be shooting my new special. Please, if you live in that area, come on out. It means the world to me. I'm spending my own money on my special. I'm not waiting for opportunity. I'm making it myself. Forrest, what do you got?
This week, well, Friday and Saturday be at the Sad Man Comedy Cafe. That's somebody's last name. I don't know if that's a great name for a comedy club, but that is the name, Sad Man. I will be wanting to watch the Virginia Tech game on Friday, so I don't imagine any of you guys are coming out, so come out Saturday night.
So Forrest is going to be at the Virginia Tech game this Friday. If you see him, show him some love.
I'm going to be in the parking lot, yeah.
Yeah, the blue lot was crazy, so make sure you hit that out. I will hit up some people for you, Forrest.
I'm heading on to read a couple of these. I'll be in the parking lot, and then I'm going to run from my show to try and make it to the fourth quarter. Just run in there. No tickets necessary.
I'm going to read a couple of comments before we get off. Thank you for all the interaction. Anthony says this team is different, and the players Mario has recruited behind these kids are different. They want to win, and they believe in the culture. And I agree with that. 100% they're into the culture. That's the difference right now between Miami and FSU. It's true. Yeah. It's true, because when you get beat 63-3 by Georgia because of all your people that you brought in, your transfers left, you have bad taste in transfers, and it's showing at FSU right now. It's showing. And the difference between Mario and Manny Diaz, Manny was coaching to save his job every game. That's why he let players do whatever they wanted. Mario's locked in. He ain't gonna let you do whatever you want to do. Some more comments. Cam is playing like a top 5 pick. Of course he is. Mario's old school Cam. People under 40 wouldn't understand. It's true.
Right about that.
Thank you for that, Blaze 352.
Podcast. He's asking. Blaze 352.
Say what?
What time is the podcast? Blaze 352 asks.
Wednesday, we drop a podcast at 3:05 East Coast time. Miami, you know the area code is 3:05. Every Wednesday, 3:05. We do it live, or you can check out the replay on YouTube, because we're really trying to build up the YouTube page. If you're listening on the podcast, on the streaming platform, please just go to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. All right.
And then you'll also know when we're doing instant reactions like this too. You'll get it.
Yeah, we'll be doing. So moving forward, we're going to be doing instant reactions the day after, because I think that's funny. That's a funny name to me. Instant reactions the day after. But we're like the morning after pill, but not. That didn't make any sense. All right. So Forrest, any last words? That was a terrible joke. We're probably on that. When we actually post it, we'll probably erase that part. I just
I like it.
You like it?
It makes no sense. I like it.
Oh, Sammy just hit us up. He says Cam is a QB1 in the draft. I believe so. Horton is a mate. That dude's a star. I agree with you, Sammy. Blaze 30352. Thank you so much. Leave your comments below. We'll read them. Forrest, just a reminder. This is how I remind Forrest of things we need to catch up on. Forrest, Wednesday podcast. Please go back to our last podcast and pull the comments people were saying I'm trying to ruin the team, or just interesting comments, because we love reading your comments. We're going to make that a part of the show too, reading your comments that we missed. So make sure you pull those. Much love. Subscribe. We love you guys. Go Canes. It's all about the you, baby. It's all about the you. We're going to be 5-0 next Friday night. Let's go. Thank you for listening. We'll see you later. Bye.